A local family gets a special wish for their very special daughter. And a college student travels the country talking about his struggle with depression. He'll join us at the table. And it is National Library Week. We're talking to some local authors. Mid-Morning starts right now.
WCBI's Mid-Morning with Aundrea, breaking away from your everyday.
Good morning, everybody. Parents of a special needs child will tell you that it can be at times challenging, but they'll also tell you that it has many rewards. A Starkville couple knows well the ups and downs of caring for a child who depends on them for everything, but they also know their special little gift has taught them a new level of love. Take a look. Mike and Kelly Sullivan couldn't have been happier 6 years ago when they found out they were expecting their second child. Early in the pregnancy, though, doctors detected an abnormality.
We found out about that maybe 7 months before birth, so we went through all the prenatal worries and fears. And
it was hard because I was pregnant. It was not knowing, you know, would I be able to care for this child and would she be okay?
And along with those questions came an option, terminating the pregnancy.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, that was always an option with the doctors, but not with us. No way.
I just wanted her to be with us and to live. I mean, and that was my prayer. I mean, there was never a thought of ever doing anything but loving this child with all of our heart.
And so their baby girl, Mary Margaret, was born, and as doctors suspected, there were problems.
She had a cyst on her brain. It's a Dandy Walker cyst, and they theorized that possibly blocked blood from flowing, which caused her problems. Long story short, she's came very close, if not died, 5 times since she's been born. She's pretty much limited to being in a wheelchair. We provide all her care as far as feeding her, bathing her.
Good job, give me 5. Good job. All right. It's taught me so much as a mom and to really cherish every day of all my children's lives. You know, you really look at your kids in a different way when you've almost lost a child. You know, every day is precious.
And every day is filled with precious moments, like Mary Margaret playing with her big sister and baby brother.
I think the best thing someone told me one day, they said that your children act like Mary Margaret doesn't have a disability. And that was the most special thing to me. And I was like, you're right, because that's her sister.
And to this entire family, Mary Margaret is an angel who has taught them the meaning of unconditional love.
The love that she just emits from her body is just unbelievable. She's just a blessing. I mean, she's a complete blessing to our family.
She was given to us for a special reason. They say special needs children are given to special parents.
And they are special folks. I enjoyed visiting with Mike and Kelly Sullivan. They're joining us this morning actually at the table. They have a big event coming up this week in honor of Mary Margaret, and they really want everyone to come. Mike and Kelly and Mary Margaret, great to have all of you here.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
How's it going so far? We visited about 2 weeks ago. You're getting ready for your big Make-A-Wish reveal party this week, right, Mike?
Yes, we're excited and nervous.
And the whole reason that we wanted to introduce our audience to you is because the Make-A-Wish Foundation has granted Mary Margaret a special wish, right? Tell us about it.
She got a therapeutic spa, and they built her a deck. It's in the backyard because she loves to swim. It's a wish that the family can share together. We've been going out in it every night. We love it. And they're actually going to reveal the wish this Saturday, and we're going to have Jasmine Murray from American Idol is going to come and sing for her, and we just want everybody in Starkville to come and share her wish.
Kelly, as Mike mentioned, Mary Margaret likes to swim. You all told me when I was at your house that she loves being in the water, that she's like most at ease there, huh?
That's right, because I mean she's more mobile and she can move more, and so I like to kick back and float. But she loves it, and I mean, and the warm water is really good for her muscles and different things.
And your other children also get a chance to enjoy it. All of you all as a family, right?
That's right, and she gets to interact with them on their level. So it's something that we can do as a family, and that's very important.
You all talked a lot in the piece about the sense of family and what a blessing she has been to your family. You told me, Michael, I was there, that she does indeed communicate with you all, right? Tell us about her very special way of communicating.
She blows kisses whenever she approves of something, or she wants to tell you she loves you. She'll blow you a kiss. Can you give Daddy a kiss, Mary Margaret?
Give Daddy a kiss.
How about a kiss?
She blew me a kiss while I was there at your
Yes,
house.
she did.
She did.
She did blow me a kiss.
Did you
Can
blow
blow
us
me
Aundrea a
Mary
kiss?
Margaret? Can you blow me a kiss today?
Say hi.
No kisses today? Too many bright lights.
You're going to do like Daddy and freeze up on camera, Hobby.
Too many bright lights.
No.
Well, I think it's really amazing that you're having this party at your house and you want everybody to come. You know,
Absolutely.
everybody
Everybody's
is invited to come. What else is going to be going on besides Jasmine Murray singing? There's going to be food, lots of big events, huh?
It's food, and we're just going to share in Mary Margaret's blessing, and everybody just hang out and have a good time.
We're seeing images right now. The young ladies of Chi Omega at Mississippi State actually helped to make this wish come true. What did they do for you all?
Well, they have a wish week.
Uh-huh.
And all week they do different things to raise money for Make-A-Wish. And at the end of the week they have a limelight, and it was the neatest thing. I mean, it was dancing, and we had no idea when we went there just how neat it was going to be. And Mary Margaret's name was everywhere. But they raised a lot of money for Make-A-Wish Foundation. I mean, they raised, Mary Margaret got her wish, and I think other children got wishes too. So it was just very special.
And
We
they
felt
really
blessed.
made her like a queen for the day,
They
didn't
did. They
right?
decorated her wheelchair. She was the queen for the day, and she loved it.
Well, we are so happy that you got your wish granted by Make-A-Wish Foundation. Again, tell us when and where the party is and where everybody can come for the fun.
It'll be Saturday at 3 o'clock at 110 Crossgate Street, which is right there in front of Walmart, right before Bank First.
All right, just a big party in the
Big
backyard.
party, everybody's welcome. Just
Will they be able
come
to
one,
get
come
in the
all.
hot tub is what they want to know.
Well,
Bring your bathing suit, absolutely.
Bring your baby suits. All right, Mike and Kelly and Mary Margaret, thank you all for sharing your
Thank you
story.
so
It was
much.
a pleasure meeting you.
You
All
too.
right, good luck
Thank
with the
you.
party on Saturday. All right, when we come back, a representative from the Make-A-Wish Foundation will join us with more on the organization and how you can get involved. We'll be right back. All right, we're back, everybody. Before the break, we met the Sullivan family who has benefited from the hard work of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Well, Barbara Buggs with the organization is joining us now with more about it and how you can help make a special child's wish come true. Barbara, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
You know the Sullivan family well,
do.
and I imagine your job has to be a very rewarding one.
Oh, it is so rewarding, so much fun.
Just getting to meet all these families and
Yes,
these children.
yes.
Well, tell us a little bit more about the mission of the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Aundrea, the mission of the Make-A-Wish is to bring hope, joy, and strength to children with life-threatening illnesses.
People out there who want to get involved with this organization, what do they need to do?
It's very easy. You can go on the Mississippi chapter, makeawish.org, and there's an application that's out there, and we will have applications on Saturday.
Okay, at the party.
At the party, so anyone that's interested is welcome. We're always looking for volunteers.
You all have granted some wishes in our area that we've had the pleasure of being able to cover. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, a young man right here in Columbus had an awesome wish. Tell us about that.
He did. Jeffrey Amos, a young man here in Columbus, it was awesome. He had a shopping spree. We actually went to the mall at Barnesville. Well, first of all, the mayor met him at his home, had police escorts throughout the trip, and we ended up at the mall where he met members of the Hound Dogs. Who presented him with football as well as signed jerseys, and he got things from all the name brand tennis shoes that the young people are into. iPad, Polo, you name it, he got it. GameStop, which is really awesome.
And the whole thing was a surprise to him because he did not know that he would be making the trip to Tupelo in a limousine, right?
No, he didn't. We picked him up in the limousine. Actually, our limousine driver, the guy that we usually have, wasn't able to come, so we wouldn't be outdone. I ended up driving the limousine.
Oh, wow, look at you. And I'm going to ask our director if we have, I think we may have some images of the young man's trip. There we go, all the way to Tupelo. And it was a surprise and a humongous success, right?
It was. It was just awesome. He was, as most young guys are, he's kind of shy and bashful, but he had a ball.
Well, we want to let people know what the process is for granting wishes. In case there are people, again, who want to get involved, this is the process that you all go through. So take us through step by step.
There's a 4-step process. The first step is a referral, which can come from our social worker, family member, parent, medical professional. After the referral, then we go through a medical eligibility. The doctors are contacted, hospitals, as far as what's going on with the child.
Okay.
And after the medical referral with the doctor of medical eligibility.
Okay.
Then we go to the next step, which is finding out the true wish.
Okay.
And we basically like to say the sky is the limit,
Oh, wow.
and it is the limit as long as it's safe. And then the last step is my part, creating the joy.
And that's the very, very best part.
That's the very best part.
And when you say the sky is the limit, really, whatever it is their heart desires,
Whatever
they should
it
wish
is,
for. Because you all
they
have
should.
sent a child to Jamaica, have you
We
not?
have.
You've done some Disney trips.
We have. We have the last one that we were involved in. We sent a young man from Madison to Wyoming, the Grand Canyon. His wish was to go and see the bisons. So he went there, he and his family, for about a week.
Well, it is a wonderful organization, one worth getting involved with. If there's something, you've been looking for a way to get involved in the community, what better way than to help these very special children? So you can go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation for Mississippi website is ms.wish.org to find out how to become a sponsor and how to help. Barbara, thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. All right, when we come back, we'll meet a young man who tried to take his own life and now he's using his story to help college students all across the country. That is next on Mid-Morning. Welcome back, everybody. It may shock you to know that more than 1,000 college students nationwide commit suicide every year. Mississippi State University is working to raise awareness about it and to provide support. Well, on Tuesday, the university hosted some events to help educate about the tragedies of student suicides. Jordan Burnham was the featured speaker at one of those events. He was there to tell his story. Jordan tried to take his own life by jumping 9 stories from a bedroom window. The failed attempt caused severe injuries. It also forced him to confront his battle with depression and led him to use his experience to help others in similar situations. Jordan is joining us this morning to talk more about it. Jordan, great to have you here with us this morning.
Thank you for having me on.
I have to begin by asking you, you were you 17 years old?
18 actually,
when
yes,
this
ma'am.
happened. It's hard for people to imagine an 18-year-old battling depression. Talk to us about that time in your life.
Right, well, a lot of people don't understand that so many young adults are actually diagnosed with a mental health disorder, that being depression or bipolar, schizophrenia, at younger ages, actually as young as elementary school students or middle school students. So when I was diagnosed at the age of 16, I didn't know what that meant, because a lot of times people don't know the difference between feeling depressed or sadness and actually being diagnosed with depression. So I didn't take it seriously. I didn't take my antidepressant consistently, and I just didn't know how to keep myself positive and take care of myself emotionally and mentally.
If you don't mind my asking, Jordan, what was going on in your life that led to that diagnosis?
Right. Well, at that point, I was holding in so many emotions and so many feelings. I didn't feel comfortable talking to anyone other than my sister. And when she left off for college, I really didn't feel like I could express my emotions and feelings in a positive way. So keeping in those emotions, my feelings work like a rubber band, where I could extend for a really long period of time holding in those emotions, but when I let go, I snapped. And that impulsivity is ultimately what led me to go see a therapist, by just so many opportunities that I had of really expressing my thoughts, but just snapping instead.
You went to see the therapist, you were prescribed medication, you weren't taking it. So take us to that moment where you decided you just didn't want to deal with it at all anymore.
Right. At that point, by the time it was my senior year, I felt a lot of pressure of feeling like I let my parents down. I had been caught with alcohol, drinking, and I felt like I was a disappointment to my family, that I couldn't do, as good or as well as my sister did in high school with being a valedictorian, getting a full academic scholarship.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah, a lot of pressure. And so ultimately that night, my dad and my parents confronted me about a bag of alcohol that I had in the trunk of my car. And it was at that point where there was a motion of feeling, if I can't make the people that mean the most to me happy, my mom, my dad, my sister, what's the point in being here? And that's ultimately what led me out my window.
You survived, obviously.
Yes, ma'am.
And you had some severe injuries. If you can briefly sort of describe what happened after that process.
Right, I broke my left fibula, which was a compound fracture, so that ripped through the skin. I broke my left tibia, I shattered my femur, I broke my pelvis, I broke my jaw in 4 different places, I broke my left wrist, bleeding internally from my brain and my organs, and was induced into a coma for 5 days. So devastating injuries, and the therapy and the recovery, both physically and mentally, was such an uphill battle. It
And it's
truly
ongoing still for you, isn't it?
Absolutely. even though I'm able to walk independently, I still face, the repercussions of the suicide attempt of falling that distance. So I'm very grateful. I'm very fortunate to be alive and to be able to share my story.
And what has caused you, what happened, what led you to want to share your story to help other young people?
When I did the original interview for the Philadelphia Inquirer, the feedback that I got back from people saying how much it touched them because they could relate to it. I knew at that point, especially when I spoke my first time in October of 2008 to a high school, I knew at that point there were so many people that could relate and understand, and I thought by telling my story it could make a difference.
And so you spoke to students last night at Mississippi State. The reaction there?
Oh, it's absolutely amazing to hear the reaction and to talk to students and just how much it touched them in some type of way, because everyone has a rainy day. It's just whether you can find that right umbrella, and I'm hoping conversation can be that umbrella for them. All
right, you have a blog where you are continuously updating your story to let people know about you. So we want to let you know, if you want to learn more about Jordan, you can go to his website to find out more about him. We certainly appreciate you coming by.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming to our neck of the woods to share your story. Absolutely. Impressive young man. So nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Jordan. All right, when we come back, we are celebrating National Library Week. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody. A trip to the local library can expose you to a world of resources. There are materials in print and electronic formats, job-seeking resources, and many other creative and resourceful programs. Well, the Columbus Lowndes Public Library System is celebrating National Library Week all this week, and Tuesday evening they hosted a Supper with Authors event. Well, all three of the authors that were there joined me at the table this morning. Please help me to welcome Griff Stockley, a Mississippi native and award-winning author and successful playwright, Arnold Dyer of Madison, who writes a weekly column for the Grenada Star, and Columbus author Deborah Johnson. She's winner of the 2010 Mississippi Author Award for Adult Fiction, which is given by the Mississippi Library Association. Whew, that's a lot, but they're all here. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you for inviting us.
Well, you are here helping to celebrate National Library Week, so I have to assume, since you're all are writers, that you first had a love of reading, Griff. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. My grandmother really was responsible for that. I can remember her reading me the landmark books. Arnold, I don't know if you remember those, but I really loved them, and so she inspired me
to read and to write.
Read and to write.
Talk to me about your inspiration, Arnold, for becoming a writer, to put those thoughts on paper and share it with everybody.
Well, it started with the reading, and I felt like I had always had a story in me, and I was a good storyteller. I would fascinate my little friends with stories that
so you knew early on.
My mother had told me, and I'd repeat them and sometimes stretch them. And I wanted to write, but then I got sidetracked and became a lawyer, and I think a lot of lawyers are frustrated writers. We use writing in our work so much, but we don't have time. Now Griff managed to find the time to write.
And you don't get to be as creative, though, in your writing as an attorney, right?
That's
I would
right.
imagine. Deborah, your inspiration for some of your work?
Was reading with my grandmother as well. She used to read me golden books. They'd read me so much that by the time I was 2, they'd read them to me, my grandparents, my parents, so much that by the time I was 2 or 3, I could read them myself. I knew when to turn the pages and stuff like that. So that was pretty much it. I always read.
We've been fortunate on this show to feature a lot of authors from Mississippi and beyond, and there are a lot of people out there who sort of feel like they have the talent for writing, or they've got something in them that they want to come out. What's your advice to people out there who want to write some sort of work, be it a play or a book or a short story?
Well, I think the first thing is that people need to have a day job, because
it didn't pay so well in the beginning.
I wrote 19 years without getting published. I was telling Arnold that I wrote 7 unpublishable novels and a whole series of plays that never saw the light of day.
Oh, wow. Your advice?
Well, the writing is actually the easy part. The hard part is getting it published.
Why is getting published so difficult?
Well, the tradition, and frankly, that's changed a lot recently with the new digital, on-demand print and stuff. It's much easier to get published, but to get published in the traditional way, where a big New York publishing house gives you a big handsome advance and starts a whirlwind tour for you.
Right.
That doesn't happen very often.
Right.
That's equivalent of getting picked first in the NFL draft. It
Now,
just doesn't happen.
I'll ask you, Deborah, is that your goal, or is your goal really just to share what you have, even if it's here locally?
I like my contract, but I mean, yes, it is sort of to share what I know. It is just I like to write, actually. Once I get in it, it's hard to get started, and I have to do it every day. But I like what I do.
Well, as we mentioned, part of the reason you're here is National Library Week. Libraries all across the country are holding special programs, and Griff, people will be able to get to talk to you more and hear from you more at a luncheon a little bit later on this morning, beginning at 11:30 at the library. It's Friends of the Library luncheon. You can bring your own lunch, show up at 11:30. At 12, what are they going to hear from you?
Well, I'm going to talk about one of my books. I wrote a biography of Daisy Bates. A lot of people know about her. They don't know as much about her husband, L.C. Bates, and they were co-publishers of the Arkansas State Press, and both were really strong civil rights advocates in Arkansas.
Well, Griff, Arnold, Deborah, thank you all for being here. I'd like to tell authors when they're here a little quick story that John Grisham brought A Time to Kill, and he was selling them out of his trunk and came to this very studio a little bit before I was here, but it happened. It's a true story.
I've got some books in my trunk.
All right, we got to go. They're telling me about it. Thanks a lot. We'll be back to wrap things up. I'll go buy one.
Furniture provided by At Home with Bassett, Highway 45 alternate, Mayhew.
All right, set your DVR tomorrow, Mid-Morning, a nonprofit organization that provides support and health education on the insurance industry, will be here. And we're caught in the web with Mike Allen. That and more on the next Mid-Morning. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you tomorrow.